You're about to make a big financial decision, and probably a great one, by opening up an IUL. But did you know that by choosing the wrong index, you could drastically slow down your cash value's growth by years? In this video, we're going to dive into the differences between the traditional indexes like the S&P 500 and those newer, fancier, low volatility indexes like the Fidelity Multifactor, so you can see the differences between both and how they grow. We'll also explain if there's any costs or fees associated with these indexes so you can make the best choice for your money. And if you don't know what an IUL is, it's basically an insurance account that you can build wealth inside of that's going to allow your money to grow accessible in the future, all tax-free, without any penalties, and without any stock market risk. So if you are looking for a way to build wealth where you don't have to worry about losing money and it's accessible tax-free, an IUL might be a good fit. Now, of course, there is a lot more to it than that. I'm not going to dive into that in this video, but I have linked a video above that will share with you everything you need to know. So pause this one, check that one out, come back here when you're done, and let's continue. Okay, so the cash value grows inside of your IUL by mirroring a stock market index of your choosing. And as I mentioned earlier, there's two different types of indexes you can track: the traditional indexes and then the more alternative or custom-made indexes, or what we call low volatility. For the traditional indexes, the most common ones we see used today are the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and lately more of the Russell 2000. Now, because these are higher performing indexes, in order for the insurance companies to offer them to you and not lose money, they have to take a piece of your profit in some way, shape, or form. And in exchange for that, they're going to give you that guaranteed 0% floor so you can't lose money. So it's common to see something called a cap, meaning you can't earn over a certain percent. It's common to see anywhere from maybe 10 to 11% caps on these traditional indexes, meaning if the market does 15%, if you're capped at 10, you're not going to earn higher than 10%. The insurance company will keep the additional 5%. It's also common to see a spread, which is just the insurance company taking a percentage or a piece off the top of your profit, and there's no cap. So if the market does, let's say, 20%, it's common to see anywhere from a 6 to an 8% spread on traditional indexes. There's a 6% spread, you're going to get 14%, and the insurance company is going to keep 6%. There are usually also options where you can pay a fee to get a higher cap. So maybe you don't like the 10% or 11% cap, you want a higher cap. It's common to see maybe you pay like a 1% fee, and they'll give you, for example, a 16% cap. And for those of you that don't like caps, typically there are uncapped options that are available for these indexes, but they're not going to give you 100% participation. They might give you only 60% participation, or what that means is if the stock market, for example, does 10% and the participation rate is at 60%, you're only going to get credited 6%, right? Because 6% is 60% of 10. If the market were to do 20%, again, there's no cap, but you're only getting credited 60% of that growth. So you would get 12%, right? Which 12% is better than the 10 to 11% cap we talked about in the beginning, but it's still an exchange of value. And with the traditional indexes, you'll also usually see 1 year, 2 year, and sometimes even 5-year index crediting periods, which is just the length of time that they are measuring in the market. So 1 year would be, for example, from January 1st, 2024 to January 1st of 2025, where 5-year would be from January 1st, 2024 to January 1st of 2029, meaning you're not getting any interest credited in your account for 5 years. And when you wait that long, you're probably going to see more interest credited. They'll probably give you a much higher cap. They'll probably give you a much higher participation rate because you are waiting a lot longer to see interest credited. Real quick, if any of this interests you or you have questions you want to ask, I want to invite you to attend the live class that I'm hosting on Zoom on Thursday, June 26th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. The link to register is in the description below. Now, your other option is the alternative, or what we call low volatility indexes. This is going to be indexes such as the S&P Mark V, maybe the Fidelity Multifactor, and probably any other index name you see listed that you don't understand or know how to pronounce or have any idea what it is. Now, low volatility indexes, they're designed to be less aggressive. They're not going to be high performers like you'll see on the traditional side. So typically, most low volatility indexes don't have a cap. Most are completely uncapped. And the insurance companies are able to offer this because the options that they purchase behind the scenes are so affordable and they make so much more money they can do it. Now, oftentimes they'll even offer a higher participation rate, maybe up to 200%, where you'd be lucky just to get 100% on the traditional side. 200% is very common to see on the low volatility side. Think of this almost like a multiplier, meaning if the market does, let's say 10%, you're getting 200% of that, meaning 10 equals 20. If the market does 5%, you're getting 10%. And again, they're able to offer this because these low volatility indexes are not designed to perform at super high rates. You're not going to usually see them do 10, 15, 20%. They're going to live somewhere between 3, 4% to probably 7 to 8%. Now, they do typically offer an option for you to pay a fee to have the potential to purchase additional interest credits. That's how I explain it to my clients, at least. So maybe, for example, you pay a 1% fee with the opportunity to bump up your participation rate to 280%. Meaning, if the market does 10%, you're getting credited 28% instead of 20% if your participation rate was at 20%. So again, it's the ability to buy the opportunity to earn higher interest. And they typically have 1 and 2 year index crediting options available. I've actually never seen a 5-year index crediting option for a low volatility index, although it may be out there and I just haven't seen it. But typically it's just 1 or 2 years as your options. Okay, so now brings about the question, which one's best for me? Honestly, it really just depends on which type of index you would prefer. I typically advise my clients to go into a blend of both. And a lot of people might say, well, why? Why wouldn't you just put all of your money into the options that give the higher participation rates? Folks, I've been in the industry for 9 years. I've seen a lot of low volatility indexes not do what we actually thought they were going to do. But I've also seen a lot of low volatility indexes soar and cruise past what we thought they would do. So I typically recommend a blend of your traditional indexes and a blend of your low volatility. You can blend into as many indexes as you want, up to obviously 100% of your cash value. And that's just going to diversify how your cash value grows and give you the best chance for success long term. Hopefully this explanation helps towards guiding you to making the best decision for how you want to see your cash value grow. Now, I know you might still have some questions. I've linked 2 videos here that will dive deeper into IULs and how they work, but I put out new content every single week on my channel talking more about these plans. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss another video teaching you what to do with your money to retire tax-free and risk-free. Catch you next week on YouTube.